Okay, welcome along to our Staying Well While Staying Home series, a collaboration between Siel, Bleu Ireland and the Irish Cancer Society. Myself, Shane, back teaching the class today, so delighted to be back. Just start off in a couple of minutes. Just going to get everything right here. Just make sure you have a nice space. In terms of having a chair, always have a good, strong, sturdy chair that you can use for the workout. I will lead most of the work in standing. However, any movements can be adapted and performed seated. We will use weight in the session, so if you have any weights, if you don't, tins, bottles, anything that can give you a little bit of extra resistance. And then other little things like just having a bottle of water and maybe just have a window open, let some air in. Although I know it is a bit nippier outside today. So just get those final. But I'd also say, in the event of any issues with the connection, I will set up a fresh and new stream. So touch wood, no problems with that in that regard. But if we have any issues, I will start a new stream. And sometimes technology can't be relied upon, but hopefully no problems in that regards. So just starting off in maybe 1 minute. And I'll guide us through a warm-up. But I'd also say make sure if any movement causes pain, everyone will have reasons for that. Certain movements, certain positions may not feel comfortable. And if that is the case, to stop that exercise and just to work from a different, one of the other adaptations that I might show you. So main thing is no pressure, but we'll try and give ourselves a good challenge and a good workout here. Okay, so just tipping into 10 o'clock now. So I will begin our warm-up and we'll get started. So first action that I'm going to do is begin with my shoulders, just to roll the shoulders back. I might actually come in a little bit closer. So we'll just begin working the shoulders, slowly rolling backwards. Any movement at all here. If I then change direction and roll the shoulders forward in circles, again, any movement at all here. Somewhere that I always like to start is around the shoulders here. Just an area that's typically tight, a little bit stiff. If, like me, maybe you're sitting for a while at the computer, just a little bit tight from that position. Now, if I bring arms across chest, pull back nice and wide, and return back in. So pull back, open nice and wide, return back in. We'll just continue on opening out that chest, a nice squeeze between shoulder blades as we open the arms out. Just going to continue opening. Turning to the side, I want to take it into a rowing action, my arms out, pull back. So just continuing that rowing motion, elbows in, pulling hands in towards lower tummy. So into your tummy and getting that nice squeeze or connection with the back of your body here. That's all we want at this stage. Just connecting, switching on to different parts of the body. Okay, from that position, just want to raise the arms in front. And then raise arms to the side. Now just work between those two positions and switching on my shoulders. All these movements, we're warming up. We're gradually bringing that heart rate up and just preparing for more challenging work ahead when we start to use weight, moving into generally harder exercises. For my next movement, I just want to return. Nice and relaxed, roll those shoulders back. And then again, just rolling those shoulders forward. Okay. Just want to bring my hands up. And what I'll do is take a small step to the right and press. And then take a step to the left and press. Just pushing out from chest with your two hands, straightening the arms out, and just taking a light step side to side. Just switching on, connecting with my chest here, and we're just making the movement nice and dynamic with a light step side to side. Just continue another couple of times. And pause. Okay, from this position, I want to fold the arms. Just want to think about keeping the hips in a steady position, so I don't want them to move too much here as I rotate my upper body left and then over to the right, over to the left, and then over to the right. So just slowly moving between the two positions, allowing my head to turn with the movement. Just working between the two ranges as far as comfortable here. And I'll just go once more in each direction. And down. Okay, from this position, I just want to take it into a nice light march. Your chair's alongside you for some of the lower limb movements here. And I'll just bring that in a bit closer. First action, just want to start lightly tapping the heels out in front. Just opening up through the lower limbs here, just getting the legs moving. My toes pointed up, my heels lightly tapping into the floor. If I move to a different position now, lightly tapping the toes into the floor, so stretch the legs back, pointing your toes into the floor. And as I say, that chair is always available here if I just want that little bit of support for the movement. Okay, and then from this position, lightly curling the legs back one at a time, just a nice light kick behind. Again, that chair is available if you want. Just lightly kicking those heels back. Really nice movement here, just opening up, starting to warm up. That heart rate gradually rising up and bringing me to a position where I'm ready to then work a little bit harder in the main blocks of work. I just pause the movement here, chair available. Lift the right knee, lift the left knee. I'm looking for elevation here as opposed to speed. Getting a nice big lift, nice and high with each knee. And that will really switch on and connect with your hip on each side. Just bringing those knees up nice and high. And then again, just lightly tapping the heels out in front. We'll just finish off last couple of movements to our warm-up. And then again, just lightly stretch the legs back, tapping toes or pointing toes in towards the floor. And then again, just curling the legs back, so a nice light kick behind. Just bringing the heel back. And then once more, I'll go with those nice high knee lifts. How that looks again, you might like your chair for this one. Again, looking to get that nice elevation, your upper body nice and straight. And just getting a nice high knee lift here. And I just think about switching on, connecting through the hip on each side. And the hips are integral in a lot of the movements we do, so we'll always give them that little bit of extra focus. And down. Okay, so warm up finished. And we're going to move into our first block of work, which is aerobic. I would say just think of this work as working the heart, working the lungs. We're on the clock for about 10 minutes of just movement. Any point you feel maybe a little bit breathless and need to rest, that's perfectly fine, or just slow the pace down a little. The movements I will lead in standing. A little bit of coordination involved, as I often like to do, but I just want to give you a seated adaptation of the main movement pattern we will do. So if you're working in seated, what I will want you to do is focus on curling your left leg back, raising the right arm up. So it'll be left leg back, right arm up. And we're going to do a very similar adaptation in standing. It'll really be the same kind of movements. So I'll put the clock on. For those of us in standing, the action that I want you to do is step your left foot back, raise the right arm up. So left foot back, right arm up. The arm goes as high as you are comfortable. That might mean shoulder height. That's perfectly fine. And always stepping back with the left foot. I know some of us might have tried this and gone a little bit. It takes a couple of seconds just to process that sometimes. And that we're just working through left leg, right arm. Shortly, we will switch and we'll work from the opposite limbs. But just on this first leg of movement, work through the left leg. But simple, if that arm, shoulder is getting tired, take it away from the movement and just continue to step back, keeping the body moving and active here. And swap, left arm, right leg. So left arm, right leg, straight in. I step back with my right foot, flat to the floor, and I raise the left arm. The palm of my hand is faced side on to the camera here, and that just allows me to nicely raise and flow that arm up. The key is you will raise to a height that's comfortable, so you don't have to force the overhead position. You might stop shoulder height, perfectly fine. Whatever range feels right for you. Again, you're just getting a feel. I'll always say 3 movements, 3 rounds. We're just getting a feel for the movements on this first round. So you'll get a sense, can I do this at a nice brisk pace, which is what we ideally want, giving yourself a challenge. Or if it's really tough, you can just slow it down a little. Okay. Final movement, straight into a march. Okay, so they are your 3 movements, a little coordination, opposite arm and limb. To one side, then the opposite side. Your 3rd movement is to march. First round finished. We repeat those 3 actions twice more. Again, all of this work, I want to challenge. So the difference is that I'm not kind of slowly ambling. There's no challenge for me if I do this. If I move with a little bit of intensity, a little bit of purpose, even here as I talk, a little bit of a pant maybe as I'm working hard, which is what I want. Again, anything's a little bit uncomfortable, you're feeling a bit very out of breath, that will be a cue to just slow it down, and it's perfectly fine to do that, or just adapt the movements a little bit. And return. So back to the chair, same actions. Let's begin. Left arm, right foot, straight in. Right foot back, left arm up. Right leg is always moving and working through that shoulder, raising the left arm up as high as comfortable. Very simple. If that shoulder gets very tired here, maybe it's not a range you're comfortable, just keep working through that right leg. And then you can return back in. Get my coordination back on track. Main thing is with this aerobic block of work, you're active, you're moving. And sometimes like this movement, I like to feed in elements of coordination. So we just have to think a little bit with some of these movements rather than just maybe march on the spot the entire duration. Just little mixes, little different challenges in there. And switch. Right arm, left leg. So again, have that think. Right arm, left leg. And begin. I step back with my left foot. I raise my right arm up. Again, I'm active, I'm moving. My here as I talk, that little pant. It's a good sign. Giving myself a challenge, which is what we want. Yeah, that shoulder's getting tired. Work in a range that's good for you. Does not have to be overhead, or even just take the arm away. work on just stepping back. And the key is just go at a pace that gives you a challenge, but that you're in control of. And down. Okay, your third action again is your march on the spot. So again, don't really need to think, just straight in, but you are trying to move with a little bit of intensity here. They say I'm not trying to kind of just amble, not feeling any challenge. I'm trying to move with a little bit of purpose here. Just bring the arms in and a nice strong march here. They always say, maybe if you're walking around your estate or you saw a neighbour, you wouldn't even recognise them because you're moving with purpose here. In your zone, you're moving with a little bit of challenge and pace here. Last couple of seconds. And back. 1/3 final round. Same actions. Everything feels okay. Continue on. Let's keep working hard. If it's a little bit tough, don't be afraid to slow the pace down. Okay. Left arm, right leg. And step back with your right foot flat to the floor. Raise the left arm. And down. So we'll switch it up. That means right arm, left leg now. So again, right arm, left leg. So let's begin. Step back with left foot. Raise the right arm. Foot goes flat to the floor. Just a nice light step back. Right arm raises. High as comfortable. Again, working hard. Expect and want the challenge with this block of work. But again, if it is getting uncomfortable, don't be afraid to slow it down. No pressure is the main thing here. Down. One final action. March. Okay, so we'll go straight in. Last movement in our aerobic block of work. Just to march on the spot. And again, I'm moving with purpose here. Just allowing the arms to flow forward and back. And as I say, I want challenge with my movement here. Last couple of seconds. And rest, okay? Take a breather. You might like to just rest on the back of your chair. Just take some of that pressure off. Take a drink of water. And I'll bring us into our next format shortly. So that's our aerobic block of work. We're saying just think of keeping yourself active. You're moving. That nice challenge. A little bit out of pant. Maybe a light sweat. These are okay. Challenge is good. Once you're not completely out of breath, unable to talk in a full sentence, for example. So challenge is good, but never afraid to slow the pace down a little bit if it's quite tough as well. So just as you continue to rest, take a sip of water. I'm going to move us into our strength block of work. So what I have is 5 exercises. We work 3 rounds. And as I've always said with this block of work, everyone is different. If you do 1, 2, 3 rounds, it's really down to the individual. Work with as many rounds as you are comfortable with. We're all building up at a different pace, so there's no pressure with any of this work. I will lead the movements in standing, but I will give you a seated adaptation for every exercise. Right, I'll just adjust that line ever so slightly. Stop the sun coming at my eyes. Mary, great to have you with us. Great to have you with us again. Right, so first movement. Let's get us going again here. Weighted squat. Okay, so 2 ways we can perform this exercise. What I will want you to do is take your 2 weights, have your chair, and the action will be feet about shoulder width, your knees nice and soft, holding the 2 weights. I will squat or fully sit to my chair and stand back up. If you are working from a seated position, I want you to hold your 2 weights, elevate the legs. You'll see they're nice and high here. If I was kind of relaxed in this position, my feet would be out of shot, but I keep them up. And the idea is I will pulse those legs up and down, keeping a little bit of tension through the thighs. Keep the feet up and lightly pulse those legs up, down. So seated version available, standing version, which is a squat or a sit to stand. So lots of choice in there. And of course, with or without weight. But we always welcome a little bit of extra load where we can. So final time, feet shoulder width, knees soft, weights each hand. I will squat, stand, back down. The squat down, back up. My knees are in line with my toes, so they're not caving in. My upper body stays nice and straight, so I'm not bending that back. I might show from the side angle on the next round. I just sit down and back, straight up. I'll keep the chair there purely as a guide, so I might just feel a tiny little tap with the chair, and that just lets me know I'm in the right plane of movement here to squat down. Again, if you feel you need to, as I demonstrate, fully sit to that chair, absolutely fine to do so. Breathing, I like to inhale as I go down, exhale as I stand and apply that power. Pushing into the floor, exhale as I stand. And rest. Okay, next movement, to stay in a seated position for this one. Okay, we are going to work a shoulder press. I'll just show you the movements as we rest. You'll have the weights side of your head, pressing overhead. If that's not a position that's comfortable to you, I want you to straighten the arms and raise in front to shoulder height. Okay, so 2 options available. Shoulder press, weights side of head, press up overhead, return level with ears, straight up, return down. And if you don't like this movement, I want you to take that front raise. So if this pressing action is uncomfortable, that front raise is available. Breathing, exhale as I press, strong, powerful press, slowly return. Take a little pause at the bottom. There's no bounce. It's a nice controlled action. Nice smooth press every time. Okay, we keep going. Again, so this is a very strong, powerful upper body movement. Your shoulders really active with this one. By its nature, a tough exercise. Even if you want to practice this with no load, that's fine. Or that front raise option. And rest. Drop the weights down for the next movement. What I would say with this one, again, we're going to work the calf back at lower legs. We're going to work from the right side and then from the left side. So what I want you to do is stagger your stance. So feet hip width. Bring your left foot back. So in a sense, take it back and away. And from this position, holding the back of your chair, I want you to lift the heels up. So you'll see I've staggered my stance. My left foot has been taken back. And I just stand up onto my toes and back down. Now what this does, you may feel a little bit extra through that right leg here as you lift the heel up. It's not to say you won't feel the back leg, but you may feel more weight through that front leg. If this position is uncomfortable, you feel there's too much pressure, bring your feet back, hip width beside each other, and just spread that weight more evenly. If you're in a seated position, same foot setup and the same action. Heels up, return back down. Again, I'm just going to keep that upper body nice and straight so that I don't sway forward and back. And rest, okay? So what I'll do is just shake the legs out. Might feel that nice tension through the calf, back of the lower legs. Just shake the legs out, walk the position out. Again, just to show you all those options, you can perform this in your seated position, okay? You can, say if you don't like the staggered stance, just go with a regular foot placement. But again, opposite side now. I want to take the right foot back and lift. And again, I'm going to feel that front left leg taking a little bit more load of body here. So heels up, back down. So I'm just breaking this one down. Good block of time, giving each foot the chance to lead in front, as it were. So nice tension, really working the calf hard today. And I really like this variation, a really nice challenge compared to the regular up-down, which is a really brilliant exercise in itself. But we can just add a little bit of extra challenge with this staggered stance position. Again, that's really important. We look after those legs, thighs, hamstring, calf, all these different areas. Last couple of seconds. And rest. Okay, again, just shake the legs out. Might feel a little bit of tension through the back of those legs. Nothing to be worried about. You kind of expect a little bit of tension when you're in that position and you kind of step out of it. Next movement. What I want you to do is, if you have a good strong chair, I want you to place it against the wall or into an area where it's not going to move. So this is a sturdy position. If you don't have a wall or a chair nearby, or a safe position, what I want to do is take your weight and a nice smooth press out from chest, seated or standing. But the version that I'm going to show you today is a chair push-up. So what I do, I can rest my hands on the chair. This chair will not move. It's in a fixed position. Walk back, maybe just a foot from the chair. Just push the hips back a little bit. I have a nice straight upper body. And that is my start position. I drop down, press back up. Lower down, press back up. So tension through my upper body. This chair will not move. It's in a fixed position. And I'm just getting that nice tension through my upper body. I'll always say, imagine if you were on the floor, that pressing action, that pushing up, pressing away. Might feel the back of the arms, the tricep with this action. Just by the angle that you're working at, you might feel the back of those arms working hard here. We're also thinking of our chest, that ability to, at no point am I bending in the position. I have a nice straight upper body I lower down and then press straight up. Just a nice variation. We've worked through our wall push-up before. We've worked a couple of different presses. And really just with this whole series, I'm just trying to give you options and ideas. There's lots of things you can pick what works best for you. And once more. And rest, okay? First round finished. Take a little breather, take a drink of water. That's the first round of your circuit finished. Always check in with yourself. Was that easy, hard? Anything was painful, change the exercise, pick different adaptation. If it was really easy, let's move with a little bit more intensity this second round. If it was quite hard, don't be afraid to slow it down a little bit. Okay, so the variations of the movement again. First movement, if working in seated, you can hold on to your two weights, elevate the legs, and you'll just pulse up and down. Okay, for those of us standing, and I'll lead from the side angle this time, feet shoulder width, knees soft, holding my two weights. In 3, 2, 1, I will squat or fully sit to that chair, straight back up. Okay. Pick the version that's right for you. Back stays straight. My hips moving down and back. I'm pressing into the floor as I stand. Exhale as I stand. Inhale as I return towards seat. As I demonstrate, if you feel just for that reassurance you need to fully sit to that chair, that's perfectly fine. It's all about picking the level that's right for you. If you feel maybe you're bending the back a little bit, use your chair, sit right back into it. You'd rather keep that nice, strong, upright position than bend at the expense of not sitting down. So don't be afraid to just sit right back. Feeling lots of tension through the legs. And rest. We take up our seated position. As you rest, I will demonstrate the movements. Number 1 again, we have our shoulder press. But very important, if you didn't like that movement, front raise, which means straight arms, raise in front. No higher than shoulder level. Okay? So let's set up. Weights. Side of head, I think roughly level with my ears is a nice point. And press. Return, level with ears. Press overhead. I exhale as I press. That's when I'm applying the power. Inhale as I return. Weights might naturally merge towards each other as I press up overhead. And they'll just widen a little bit as I lower back down. So I'm always clear and away from my head. All that work through the shoulders and this strong, powerful upper body movement. This is one naturally you may tire on. You may need to stop a couple of times. Final couple of reps here. One more if comfortable. And rest down. Right? Not an easy one, so great work, whichever version you go with there. Back to our heel raises next. So again, that staggered stance we talked about. So feet hip width. And then what I want you to do is step your right foot back. So I'm going to feel or work more to the front leg here. 3, 2, 1, heels up. Okay, I may have led with the right foot in front the last time, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to balance it out anyway. So just give each foot the opportunity to lead in the front position. But in terms of where you feel, if I was leaning back, I might feel more weight through the back leg, but just naturally, I think you'll probably feel that front leg more because we're nice and straight. Might feel a little bit more weight through that front left leg, even though the right side is active. Again, this is another tough, challenging one, and it's good to give each leg, really work this one hard today. Left in front, and then we'll go with the right in front shortly. Just think about that body staying straight. As I say, always just mindful that you don't rock forward and back. So if you didn't feel tension back at legs, pay attention to what's happening at the hips. If you are swaying a little bit, and rest. Shake it out. Okay, so we're going to set up. Still a couple of seconds, so we're not starting the movement yet, but we will set up. Feet hip width, I want you to step that left foot back, so your staggered stance. So right foot is in front, the left has been pulled back and away a little bit here. Begin, heels up, back down. And now I'm feeling a little bit of extra tension through that right leg, the back of that lower leg. Again, body is straight, heels up, return flat to the floor. And just continuing on like that. Okay, so another couple of reps here. Been really hard, really good work here. We'll get two more. And once more. That felt like a long set. Okay, shake the legs out. Again, movement. I want to bring the chair in towards the surface of you, a wall that you can place your chair against so that chair will not move. If you don't have anything suitable or your chair isn't good and strong, take a weight and nice smooth press away from your chest. Okay? So let's set up. About a foot from my chair, hands are on the chair. Just soften the knees a little bit, push the hips back. My body is straight, so I'm not bending. Always nice straight. Drop down, press up. Drop down, press up. Work in a range you're comfortable with. Nice tension through the chest. Back of the arms very active. Exhale as I press away. Inhale as I lower. Once more. And rest. Okay, second round finished. Take a break, drink of water. 1/3 final round coming up if you're comfortable with that. Again, you might notice round 2, 3 gets a little bit tougher from the first round. Maybe 1 or 2 movements like your shoulder press. You just run out of a little bit of power. And again, they're normal responses we would expect. That was kind of things to happen. But If it feels easy, again, I'm afraid to just work a little bit harder and just think if you can get maybe a more challenging weight going forward, that might make it more appropriate for you. If it's a little bit hard, one of the simplest things I'll always say is just slow the pace down. Even think doing every second repetition with me. Don't feel you have to too closely match exactly what you see on screen. Try every second repetition with me. So just work at a pace that's good for you, that's giving you a challenge, maybe a little bit out of pant, or a little bit of a pant as you would talk, maybe a light sweat, but you know you're working, the main thing. So let's go third and final round. Just going to set our clock up here. So again, I'm going to give you the adaptions. Let's take our 2 weights. Take a little bit longer rest if you need. I am just guiding us the instructions here. So movement 1. If working seated, take your 2 weights, elevate the feet, and just pulse those legs up and down. Small range of movements, keeping a nice tension through the legs here. Standing, our squat or sit to stand, feet shoulder width, knees are soft. Scratch, and let's begin. 3, 2, 1. Squat down, straight back up. Again, if I want, I will fully sit to that chair, no problem. I'm always thinking of moving those hips down and back. My upper body stays straight. Little squeeze in my glutes as I come forward. Pushing my heels into the floor. Those feet always firmly in contact with the ground. Lots of tension through the legs. Inhale as I lower. Exhale as I rise up. And simple things, running out of power. I'm afraid to just fully sit it right back into that chair if you need. Getting rid of the weight if you need, the additional weight. And that seated option is available. Once more, if comfortable, and rest. Let's take up our seated position. I prefer to do this movement seated, particularly when it's unsupervised, just that you have that back support. Can be a little bit uncomfortable in standing if we got that wrong. So straight arms, front raise is the option, the adaptation, or shoulder press if comfortable. So weights, level with ears, that's my start point. 3, 2, 1, begin. Straight up overhead and return the weights down. Strong, powerful press. Nice controlled return. Breathe out as I press. Inhale as I return. Check where we are. Just another couple of reps to finish. Maybe 3 more. All right. And if comfortable, 1 last time. And rest. Drop the weight down. Not required on this on our next ones. So if you remember those heel raises, you can take this up in a seated position. If you prefer, you can keep your feet level beside each other if you feel maybe weight's a little bit better that way. Or, as I will lead with, staggered stance. So again, I'm just going to take my left foot back. So I'm going to feel through that front side a little bit more. Heels up, return to floor. I think I've led each time differently with the foot that's in front, but it really, a lot of time people will ask with the calf, maybe if they're not feeling it, as I always say, just kind of pay attention. If you're rocking forward and back, I'm in a sense skipping taking the tension off that position. So if I just keep everything straight, the only way for my heels is to go up and return to the floor. And I will get that nice feeling challenge to the back of the lower legs. Okay, last couple of reps here. One more if comfortable. And down. Okay, let's shake those legs out. Okay, so I'm going to lead from another, this time my left foot, or we'll start up, feet hip width, take that right foot back, stagger the stance, holding my chair. 3, 2, 1, and begin. Heels up, return flat to floor. Heels up, return flat to floor. And we'll continue. And I always say this second one always feels a little bit longer. Just start to get tired in those calves. But we're at the end, nearly there now. Last couple of reps. Might get 2 more if comfortable. And down. Okay, final action. To push your chair in against the wall or good steady surface. That's not really suitable. Don't have anything. Take a weight. Nice smooth press out from chest, standing or seated. Again, what I will lead with, hands on chair, walk the feet back, foot from the chair, knees are soft, my hips push back, and that body is nice and straight. I'm not bending at any point. I'm nice and straight. Lower down, press back up. Lower down, press back up. And I'm thinking about my chest, that power in my upper body to press. Think about back of the arms, might feel a connection here. Nice control down, strong, powerful push away. Exhale as I press up. Inhale as I lower down. Last couple of times. One more if comfortable. And rest, okay? So that is 3 blocks of strength work finished. Aerobic block finished. We'll just move into a cool down. And I'm just going to go through one mobility exercise as well, because there's a lot in that. I just want to give you a nice mobility movement on the shoulders. So this will be a nice exercise after the harder, more intense blocks. Just in terms, well, first of all, as you rest, take your drink of water, of course. What you worked there, we worked our shoulders with our pressing motion, our quad or the thighs with our squat or sit and stand. We worked the calf, back of those lower legs, not to mention our aerobic work beforehand, where you're very active and just moving with those movements, the coordination movements. So what I want to do next, just at this point after working hard, probably worth taking a seat. I'll come a little bit closer just to give the movement, the demonstration. What I want to do is bring the arms out to my sides. I will turn the palm of my right hand up to face the ceiling. The palm of the left hand faces down to the floor. And what I want to do is imagine my arms like a dishcloth. And if the way you would squeeze a dishcloth if it was full of water and you wanted to squeeze it all out. So what that means is I rotate my right arm forward, my left arm back. And then the opposite ways. So one arm goes forward, one arm goes back. And again, just think of your arms as if you're wringing out a dishcloth, squeezing all the water away. What this is doing is a really nice movement from the shoulders. The key with an action like this, I always say, is to go slow, slow, slow. If I speed and sharply turn, I might move to a little bit of kind of pain, or it might be uncomfortable. If I stay slow and controlled, I can really let the shoulders gauge how far they are comfortable in terms of the movement. So I know any further than this might be sore, so I won't push it any further. And I just slowly find the space and movement by keeping the action nice and slow. So another once or twice. And down. Let's just rest the arms down. We'll try that once more. Just think that one as a little bit of mobility. If we're very tight around the shoulders, you could think of that as a little bit of aftercare. So if we're doing a strong movement like a shoulder press in the session, maybe in a day or two, the shoulders feel a little bit tight. A movement like that can be really nice. You can be doing it any time during the day. So let's try it once more, just to give you a chance to kind of explore this movement. Arms out to your sides. Again, turn the palm of the right hand up to face the ceiling. Palm of the left hand faces down. Okay. So one arm goes forward, one arm goes back. Doesn't really matter which way first. Just one is going forward, one is going back. And again, just as if you were wringing out or squeezing a dishcloth, just squeezing all the water away. Again, just avoid moving harshly or really fast. Just think about keeping the action slow and steady as you move through the shoulders. Again, that is the challenge. Naturally, you're just kind of on a swing forward or back, but we're keeping this slow, slow, slow and steady all the way. Working through my shoulders. Let's go once more. And down. Okay, rest those arms down. Brilliant work. So hopefully you enjoyed that one. And what we'll do is move through a couple of stretches. Just since I've brought us into a seated position, I'll just finish the cool down in seated. And just a couple of exercises just to relax the body back to a resting state. Okay. Sit right into your chair. Let's work the calf one at a time. Actually, we worked them quite hard today. Right leg out. Point the toes forward, so just stretch, hold that position. And now I want you to pull the toes back. Stretch, lengthen out those calves. Just the one calf in this case. Stretch the toes forward. Pull the toes back. We're probably going a little bit longer on the hold each time. So just a nice long hold. Again, point the toes forward. And then one more time, I want you to pull those toes back towards yourself and hold the position. Rest there. Swap sides, left leg. Just point the toes forward and away. And then again, let's point those toes back. Stretch out back of that lower leg. Point the toes forward. Like we did in the last side, we'll probably hold a little bit longer as we go. So pull back, nice long hold, stretching out back of that lower leg. One more time, point the toes forward. Pull the toes back. And a nice long hold in this position. and down. Okay, comfortable in my chair. Bring the right knee up, holding on to that knee. Gently raise that knee up. Okay, so get about my glute, my hip, lower back in a really nice position against the chair here. So just holding this position. And rest down. Let's work through the opposite side. Elevate the right knee, slightly hold on, and gently raise that knee up as high as comfortable, up towards chest. Again, I think of my glute, my hip, lower back feels really good here. We just hold the position. Back down. So work doing that one more time. Right knee, lightly hold on. Just gently elevate up, high as comfortable, and hold that position. And again, always think of bringing the knee up rather than moving your body down. So we're keeping that back in a nice flat position against the chair. Back down. And I just always find I need to slightly readjust between each side. Maybe that's just me. Left knee, hold on. Gently raise that knee up, high as comfortable, up towards chest. And my glute, my hip, lower back just feels really nice in this position. I really like this stretch at the end of a nice hard workout. And back down. Okay, so let's move into the upper body. And we do here, and let's give a little bit of attention to the shoulders. So just to begin, let's just roll the shoulders back. And then roll the shoulders forwards. Okay, just going to bring the right arm across my body. That's as far as I can go. So with my free left arm, I just gently hook the position in, and I might gently push a little bit more, stretching out that shoulder, holding the position. And back down. I bring my left arm across. That's as far as I can go. So I'll use my spare hand and arm just to hook the position in and gently push a little bit more from the stretch. Gentle being the word here. Don't force it really fast. Just smoothly push, getting a little bit more from that shoulder. Down. Once more, each side. Right arm across. Just going to hook in with my spare hand and arm and just gently push a little bit more from that stretch. And swap one more time. Left arm across. Just going to hook in with my spare hand and arm and just gently push a little bit more from that stretch. Just going to hold. And back down. Okay. Just one more upper body, hands in front. Pull back, squeeze shoulder blades together. I should say I'm sitting forward a little bit for this one, because I have space to bring those arms back. Push forward and hold, stretch. Pull back, squeeze, hold. Push forward, stretch the position out. And pull back and squeeze. And push forward and hold. Let's go twice more. Pull back, squeeze and hold. Push forward and hold. Stretching now that upper body position. Once more. Pull back and squeeze. Squeezing shoulder blades together. Stretch the arms forward. Pushing away. Holding position. And relax back down. Okay. And just to finish off, just nice relaxed. Inhale. Slowly out mouth. Just ensuring that you're nice and relaxed. And once more. Okay, so that concludes our session for today. I'll be back next week, Wednesday at 10 a.m. Again, don't be afraid. Any questions, issues, if it's really hard, easy, don't be afraid to let me know. Or if you like a little bit of mobility at the end there, anything at all, don't be afraid to let me know. But have a great week. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And hopefully feeling really good after that as well. So great work, everyone. And I'll see you again. Well done, everyone. Brilliant work, Mary, there. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Very welcome. No problem. Great work, everyone.